What is going on, guys? Dealer back again with yet another video talking about a very, very interesting video by DualShockers. They shocked the hell out of us with this one. Yeah, that's a very impressive ratio. That's a lot of dislikes and not a lot of likes. Keep in mind, even their own supporters on the channel. Yeah, safe to say the war cry wasn't answered on this one or the last one. Or let's go ahead and help them out with this ratio real quick. Well, in case you didn't know, DualShockers is busy, or was busy at the time of this video's recording, pissing everyone off on the internet, talking about Microsoft and Bethesda. And I've got to say it, this is probably one of the most moronic takes on the Bethesda acquisition that I've heard, and I've heard a lot of them on this channel, right? This is one of the single most idiotic, and I hate to put it that way, but yes, one of the most idiotic takes I've heard on the acquisition anywhere. And again, ignoring context, ignoring the fact that you're literally being a hypocrite when you say half of these things, ignoring the full quotes and context of things that were said. And at the end of the day, he really comes off as just he's mad. The guy's mad, seriously. So let's listen to it. Oh, and by the way, let me know your thoughts as we go through this video. And of course, if you end up liking the video, share it with a buddy or two, hit the like button. You guys really help.
So the Bethesda Microsoft sale has been finalized.
Facts.
PlayStation gamers everywhere are mourning the fact that, apparently, future Bethesda games will be Xbox Game Pass exclusive.
I'm already picking up a tone with this guy, picking up a bitchiness about him.
This is bad news if you're one of the 8 people on planet Earth who successfully camped out outside a GameStop for 2 weeks to get a PlayStation
Hang on. 8 people, really?
PlayStation 5 with the sole intent of playing Starfield. This
Only 8 of you want a Starfield, PlayStation guys.
press as a whole has been quick to report on comments from head of Xbox Phil Spencer about Bethesda's future exclusivity.
Yourself included.
Things aren't really that simple. Not all Bethesda games will be locked onto Xbox platforms for the rest of eternity.
Which was confirmed the first time they've ever talked about this, and yeah.
It's complicated. Spencer's actual quote was,
So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive, because we know that's not true.
so far so good. So which games are exclusive and which aren't?
There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players. We love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be things that have either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that we'll go do.
Okay, so games that have already released and community-based online games. So,
All right. The same thing he said last time so far.
good news, PlayStation 5 owners. You get to keep Fallout 76. Yay! But there's more to it than that.
Yay.
If you take a shot of caffeine and push through the 1 hour, 15-minute roundtable presentation, in which Bethesda and Microsoft heads explain the buyout, you'll learn a few more interesting things.
So I think that was the way of him saying. Was that the way of him saying that it was boring? Really? You're gonna talk? All right. Well, look. I think Aaron looks great right there. By the way.
I don't blame anyone for passing on this wonderful opportunity, because at around the 30-minute mark they start discussing which are their favourite business meetings. It's a really dry presentation.
Again, just a subtle hint of bitchiness. There's a real disdain here, and I can really tell this guy hates the fact that, well, ZeniMax are going to be bought out by massive companies like Tencent. Microsoft decided to outbid them, and he hates it. It's right there.
That is my absolute favorite meeting, and I just like the collaboration and what comes out of that, and the spirit of that is something really special.
You also get a quick rundown of all the various studios that Microsoft has bought which fall under the Bethesda umbrella, and I have to say it is a little disheartening. For all that the presentation tries to put a positive spin on things, we all know that this is just a list of games that won't be appearing on PlayStation 5 anytime soon.
I mean, geez, dude, so... it seems like he only cares because it ain't going to be a PlayStation, but when a PlayStation game or a team like Insomniac get locked down, did he say anything because it wasn't going to the other platform? Hang on, so not only do you not see your own hypocrisy, it's disheartening now that the games are being taken from you, but while Sony were snatching up Insomniac and locking down these studios, you have had no problem with it, you will have no problem with it going forward. You don't see the problem there? You're mad because Microsoft did a better job at doing what you like.
Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo will still first release on PlayStation, but after a couple of years the Bethesda releases on PlayStation 5 are going to dry up. I do feel bad for Todd Howard. I know he's not the most popular...
He feels bad for Todd Howard. Look, I know some of you are going to say, yeah, but, Todd Howard, whatever. But look at that perm. I don't know. Is that a perm? Somebody tell me if that's a perm.
Guy in gaming because he has the gall of trying to over-promote his games, but this presentation, well, It might just be me, but I think I can see the absolute fear in his eyes.
You know, I legitimately had not watched this before. First time watching it. I do not like this guy that's talking. We get it. You don't like the fact that Microsoft swooped him up.
He's going to get the blame for this. He knows that when Starfield launches as an Xbox Game Pass exclusive, there'll be a million memes of Todd Howard releasing Skyrim on a toaster so that he can use it to burn all the PS5 copies of Bethesda games.
Todd Howard agreed to this. He agreed to it.
A fair chunk of the presentation also deals with games that probably won't end up being exclusive. Fallout 76 is one, yes, but Elder Scrolls Online is another. Games that rely heavily on their online community are going to do best when they reach the widest possible audience.
And they're already on the other platform, right?
They leave the door open for future Bethesda releases on PS5 and other platforms in future.
No!
Because here's the thing that Phil Spencer isn't mentioning about console exclusives. They have a relatively short shelf life.
So remember, Phil Spencer ain't mentioning that on Phil Spencer ain't mentioning that. They got a relatively short shelf life. I do not care. I loved God of War, one of my favorites of all time. Point is, it's one of those games. It didn't end up on Xbox. It did very well. They're making more. Just remember, Phil Spencer hiding them facts that them short life shelf lives is done.
A few months after a game's initial release, its value to the company drops dramatically. This is why we've been seeing many.
This is why we see Gears 5 Hive Busters and all of these different story expansions for all these different games. If they want to invest more in a title, they're going to get more back from a title. We've seen that so many times from games that are quality.
Many games companies, Microsoft included, bringing their games to other platforms after a few years on the market. Their value as system sellers decreases, and it makes more sense to release them to a wider audience.
So basically he's saying when the game gets old, bring it to PlayStation. While at the same time, having never ever said this once ever before now about PlayStation games getting old and going to Xbox consoles or anything else.
I think my favorite example of this is Cuphead, made by Studio MDHR.
Cuphead was not their studio, it was not their IP.
This cuts both ways. After selling more than a few PlayStation 4s at launch in 2017, Horizon Zero Dawn eventually came to PC last year. Ditto Death Stranding, a game which Sony helped to fund, but which was eventually brought to Steam, because it's genuinely better for games companies to only keep games exclusive for a short time.
Again, how many times have you said this up to this point? Where's this video 2 years ago about God of War? How come everyone else is just now seeing this? This has been common sense, and you can see this coming a mile away. Sony are copying their direct model when it comes to sending their games to PC, and how they will do day and date, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, they will launch games day and date to compete with Game Pass. Competition demands it. But again, yeah, now it makes sense to let those exclusives go, right? Yeah.
This is something that Microsoft absolutely understands. Last year, Phil Spencer said, "Gaming is about entertainment and community and diversion and learning new stories and new perspectives. I find it completely counter to what gaming is about to say that part of that is to lock people away from being able to experience those games, or to force someone to buy my specific device on the day that I want them to go buy it, in order to partake in what gaming is about. Gaming is bigger than any one device."
Yeah, that's his attempt to make Phil Spencer look like a liar.
And that might not be all. It does feel like the Xbox console itself doesn't quite mesh with Microsoft's business plan here.
What?
The company has made no secret of the fact that they want to be the Netflix of games.
Oh my god, this? Really? This is the dumbest shit I ever heard today, at this particular moment. So, let me get this straight. They make not one, but 2 consoles, spending what is undoubtedly over $1 billion in R&D. It's gotta be several $100 million, right? I'm just throwing a figure out there, but I'm sure it's close. Why would you add 30-40% to your R&D budget for consoles? Not only that, but you ensure that developers are not held back by the lower end model of the Xbox. You make sure that game design is great, and you make sure that these things are compatible, and you make sure that it's at a great price, and you make sure that everything works across PC and Xbox and Game Pass and xCloud, and you just make sure that everything works and that you can play where you want to. Yeah, this is counter to their consoles, even though their consoles are an integral part of this plan. Ignore those things though.
Get someone to buy Starfield one time on any console, and you'll sell them the game once for $60, plus DLC or what have you at a later point down the line.
Oh yeah, DLC. But you loved it in Horizon Zero Dawn.
And they'll pay you $15 a month every month until they die. That's a lot of money to squeeze out.
Or you could just buy the game like you always have up to this point. True or false? Seriously, comment, please. Why do they always forget that Game Pass is an optional rental service and nothing more? I mean, it's fire, don't get me wrong, but I mean, hey, hey, this is a place where you can play a lot of games for a little bit of money. If you want to buy these games, you can still buy them. There's still every single option that's ever really been out there, but now you get the option to get hundreds and hundreds of games for just $10 a month instead of renting one game for $10 a week. I'm actually going to go look up his rant on Blockbuster after I'm done making this. By the way, Sony have a similar service. You might have heard of it. It's called PlayStation Now. I'm almost certain you don't have an article or a video or a problem with that one, though. Why is it so hard for this guy to figure out that Microsoft want to lock this crap down so you like their service more, so you buy their service, so you stay on their service longer? Why is this so hard to figure out? Do you think Sony are not going to compete? Pay $15 a month
until they die. Frankly, it would not surprise me if, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but eventually, we get some form of Xbox Games Pass, first on Nintendo Switch, and then on PlayStation. That seems to be the direction Microsoft is heading.
He still doesn't know that Sony are the ones who won't allow Game Pass on their platform, not Microsoft. Yeah, more on that in a minute.
The question then, and this is probably the big reason why Microsoft is so hesitant about releasing Bethesda games on PlayStation, is if you can get Xbox Game Pass on a PS5, why own an Xbox?
Didn't Jim Ryan, PlayStation CEO, just talk about how they're to be expanding to PC more? Why play a PlayStation when you can play it on PC or play it on mobile? DualShockers, do you not know that there's more than one reason to play on any platform? I don't know. I feel like there's so much stuff to say here, but when it comes down to it, what he's saying is, hey, Microsoft are going to bring Game Pass to PlayStation anyway. That's why, you'll eventually get these games and yada, yada, yada. And I would say that, hey, since when do you think Sony are going to allow Microsoft to make so much money off of them? Seriously, think about this. It would be a hell of a decision for Sony to say, hey, bring Game Pass over. Bring it all over. By the way, connect your Xbox Live to our PlayStation Network and you'll get all those extra active users for your stockholders. Oh, and add to that you're going to need to make a bunch of money off of us and our massive PlayStation user base. You suck away not only our customers from PlayStation Now that we're selling them, but go ahead and make a ton of money from our customers. Even if they subscribe to both, we're going to help you out as well. Look, I get it. Times are changing, but it's pretty clear, and it's been clear for years. Services or these evergreen methods of revenue, where they entice you to subscribe with software like, well, Starfield. Exclusive content on their services, on their ecosystems. Think about Netflix, Disney Plus, The Boys on Amazon Prime. I mean, there's so many things that come to mind here. Same concept. That's why Satya referenced the Netflix of gaming. And that's why Sony will not allow Xbox Game Pass to be on their platforms. It's easy for people to understand, except for this guy. Now, I know it's been a long ride, long video. Trust me, it's been a hell to edit. But it's not my fault this guy has so many weird problems. I mean, he even has a problem with the fact that Bill is excited to experiment with the id Tech engine with their first-party games, or maybe have teams collaborate with these engines and learn from each other.
Around the 44-minute mark, Phil Spencer talks about how eager he is to get the Doom developers id Software talking with 343 Industries.
And I think about them collaborating and working and talking with the Coalition and 343 and just the future of id Tech and what could that mean inside of Xbox.
I've seen commenters online talking about how this new buyout means we might get a Master Chief Doom Guy crossover, but it seems like there's more to it than
id Tech,
that. We could very well get a Halo game that is, in part, developed with support from the team at
id Tech. He's talking about the damn engine the Doom games are made with. id Tech is one of the most impressive engines you can use right now. And of course, as Microsoft already do, they share knowledge among their own studios, much like Sony. Everything you're saying, Sony already does, Microsoft already do it. You can feel the reach, and I'm really starting to understand that ratio and how it's possible now.
Going to become integrated into the Microsoft machine to the point that the
Microsoft machine.
Is that a bug or a feature?
Is that a bug or a feature? Microsoft, he is very, very hurt by your decision to buy ZeniMax instead of letting Tencent get to them. Why did you do that? Well, because of the quote that he didn't really show us. Hang on, you cut the quote off right there? Is that really? He really did. So the quote is Phil basically saying, hey, Xbox games are going to be exclusive to, pretty much any Xbox-related ecosystem device to the platforms that have Game Pass on them, meaning PlayStation is not in the mix. This guy, again, in pain, and he's got some kind of personal issue with Microsoft, and it's really got to hurt him that Microsoft win either way. No matter if it comes to PlayStation a year from now, 2 years from now, that's still a year's worth of incentive, 2 years worth of incentive to try it on Game Pass, to get an Xbox, to consider switching. And really, for those that are fans, most importantly, the consumer gets a win here by getting another big title in this service for what is great value. I mean, think about this. He has a problem with the fact that Microsoft are doing the very thing he covets Sony for doing, being exclusive or giving a reason reason to pick up a Microsoft device, Sony have done a great job at trying to give you a reason to pick up a PlayStation this past generation. But seriously, when it comes to Game Pass, smacking your PlayStation anytime soon, it's too nuts, too crazy. Jim Ryan, he just got up. Leave the man alone. All right, Matthew, well, I'm sorry you made this video. I'll be honest. And I'm sorry I made this video. I'll be honest. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Look, this man has some burnt-ass feet. Breakdancing so hard, this shit's lit on fire. I'm just saying, if you're a journalist, Google stuff or something. I'm just a dude with a microphone. And you know what? Somehow we've managed to get almost up to 100,000 subscribers being a dude with a microphone. So, thank you for what you guys have done and pushing the channel as far as you have. Doing something a little different today because I felt like it. I'm just having fun with it. Hopefully you guys did too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Show a buddy or two. This stuff's gonna get pushed because of you guys in the first place. So thank you. And I seriously mean that. All the patrons, all the channel members, shout out to Nano Polymath and Lethal Papa and everybody that has always been there for me since the beginning of this stuff, man. Again, let me know your thoughts. How many different ways that this guy's points get ripped in half? And of course, don't go hating on nobody. I did enough of that. I feel like the points are flawed and maybe he did it on purpose. I feel like he did because I feel like he's smarter than this. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. Microsoft messing up. A Series X. They're going to give it to PlayStation. Is the Series X going to become a PlayStation now? Is the guy going to come over here and put Doom Guy inside your Xbox? I don't know. Let me know. I'm Dealer. I'm out.